You may think you know all the rules of the game, but what if I told you that the NBA has some shocking rules that even the most die-hard fans are unaware of? Yes, that's right. While some rules are well known and frequently enforced, others are less known and often overlooked. From no jewelry allowed on the court to the no-shatter rule, these rules are in place to keep the game fair, competitive, and safe for all players. In this video, we'll dive into some of the NBA's most interesting and lesser-known rules, exploring why they exist and how they impact the game. So whether you're a die-hard NBA fan or just a casual observer, get ready to learn something new about the game. Basketball is a fast-paced game that requires quick thinking, coordination, and skill. However, behind all the actions, there are many rules in place to ensure fairness, safety, and sportsmanship on the court. So to ensure fair play, the NBA has updated its rulebook on several occasions over the years. The NBA rulebook is a comprehensive document that outlines the rules and regulations that govern basketball at the professional level. It covers everything from the size and dimensions of the court to the equipment used by players, as well as various fouls, violations, and infractions that can occur during a game. There are rules regulating everything a player does on and off the court, including rules regarding clothing, sleeves, mannerisms, and fans. First up, did you know that there is a rule for when there is a jump ball mix-up? In basketball, the jump ball is a crucial part of the game. It determines which team gets possession of the ball at the beginning of each quarter and overtime period. But what happens when both teams get confused and mix up which side they're supposed to be on? According to the rules, the referee has 24 seconds of game time to correct the mistake. If they fail to do so, the game just continues as if nothing happened. This means that if one of the team's scores is on the wrong side, the point still counts. If this mix-up happens at the start of the game, the sides are reversed in the following half. However, if it happens during the game, the teams have to keep playing on the wrong side for the rest of the quarter. Any points scored on the wrong side still count, and sides are reversed at the end of the quarter. Although this rule has been in place since Wilt Chamberlain's time in 1959, there hasn't been a recorded instance of this happening in the NBA. Professional basketball players are trained to know which side to be on, so it's unlikely to happen at that level. However, it's not uncommon in lower levels of basketball, where players may not be as experienced or may be more prone to confusion. In conclusion, the jump ball mix-up is a rare but interesting occurrence in basketball. It adds another layer of complexity to the game and can result in some interesting situations. Next up on our list is a rule called the disaster draft, which is a rule that would only be used when something unexpected happens that prevents a team from being able to play its games. The rule allows affected teams to choose up to 5 players from a pool of eligible players, and the order in which they get to choose is determined by a lottery. Interestingly, this rule has only been activated once in NBA history, and that was after the 9/11 terrorist attacks. The New York Knicks and Washington Wizards were able to select extra players through the disaster draft. Overall, it's a pretty cool rule that shows how committed the NBA is to helping teams deal with unexpected events and make sure they have everything they need to keep competing. How about this rule, the no-shatter rule? You must have seen a basketball player throw down a massive dunk and shatter the backboard or break down the hoop. It's a pretty epic moment, but did you know that in most basketball leagues like the NBA, that player would actually be penalized for their impressive feat? It's true. The no-shatter rule was put in place in 1993 to keep players and spectators safe from broken glass, as well as to prevent expensive equipment damage. The cost of replacing a backboard can be pretty expensive, so the rule helps to keep the equipment in good condition and prevent unnecessary expenses for the team or venue. So even if a player didn't mean to break the backboard, they'll still receive a technical foul, and the basket will not count. While it may seem like a bummer for the player, the no-shatter rule is ultimately in place to make sure everyone stays safe and the game can continue without any unnecessary interruptions. So the next time you see a player go for a monster dunk, just remember that they're also trying to avoid breaking the backboard and getting a penalty. Next on the list is the no jewelry on the court rule. While some might view this rule as an inconvenience or unnecessary restriction, it's actually in place for a very important reason: player safety. Jewelry can be dangerous on the basketball court for several reasons. For one, it can get caught on another player, the rim, or the net, causing injuries not only to the player wearing the jewelry, but to other players on the court as well. Imagine a player going up for a rebound and getting snagged on an opponent's necklace. Not only would it be painful, but it could also cause the player to lose balance and fall, potentially leading to further injuries. Another concern with jewelry on the court is the risk of it falling off or getting damaged. Earrings, for example, can easily come loose during a game and become a choking hazard if swallowed. And if a player's wedding ring were to fall off during play, it could easily get lost or cause injury to other players if stepped on. For these reasons, the only exception to the no jewelry on the court rule is a medical bracelet. Even then, the bracelet must be taped securely to the player's body to minimize the risk of it catching on anything. Next up is a rule that has evolved over the years. Have you ever heard of the infamous six-man rule in the early days of the NBA? It allowed a team to field 6 players on the court instead of the usual 5, but only if the referee wasn't paying attention. Can you imagine trying to sneak an extra player onto the court and hoping the ref wouldn't notice? Thankfully, the sixth-man rule has evolved into something much more positive and celebrated in today's NBA. The sixth man now refers to the first player who comes off the bench to substitute for one of the starters in the game. These players are often unsung heroes, but their contributions to their team's success can't be overlooked. The sixth man is a vital part of any successful team, providing a much-needed boost of energy, hustle, and skill when called upon. The NBA even awards a Sixth Man of the Year each season to recognize the best bench player in the league. While the idea of sneaking an extra player onto the court may sound exciting, it's definitely not something that's condoned in today's NBA. Instead, the sixth-man rule celebrates the valuable contributions of bench players and the strategic substitutions made by coaches to give the team the best chance of success. The no-kick rule. Essentially, the rule states that players are not allowed to intentionally use any body part to redirect the ball's movement other than their hands for dribbling, holding, or passing. This means that moves like punching, striking, shoulder bumping, or any other intentional use of body parts to alter the trajectory of the ball are considered violations, resulting in the ball being turned over to the opposing team. The ball accidentally striking the foot, the leg, or the fist is not a violation. A player may not use any part of his leg to intentionally move or secure the ball. The strike rule was introduced primarily due to safety concerns for both players and fans. The NBA understands the physical nature of the game and the potential for injuries that come with it. By prohibiting players from intentionally using their bodies to redirect the ball's movement, the league hopes to prevent serious injuries that could occur in situations where players might collide with each other or with fans. Here's a rule against verbal interference from fans. You know what really ruins the fun of going to a basketball game? When some obnoxious fan starts verbally abusing the players and coaches. It's just not cool. That's why the NBA has a policy in place to deal with this kind of behavior. The policy is pretty straightforward. If a spectator is being a total jerk and interfering with the coach's ability to communicate with their players, they'll get one warning from a building security officer. If they don't take the hint and continue to act like fools, they'll be ejected from the arena. And let's be real, it's not just about protecting the players and coaches. It's also about creating a positive and respectful environment for everyone in attendance. We all want to enjoy the game and cheer on our favorite team without being subjected to some rude person's verbal comments. Here's a rule against illegal self- and teammate-assisted scoring. You may have seen a player use the rim or backboard to boost themselves up and slam the ball down with extra force. Well, as cool as it looks, it's actually a violation of the NBA's rules. According to the illegal assist in scoring rule, players are not allowed to assist themselves in scoring by using any part of the rim, net, backboard, or basket support to lift, hold, or raise themselves. This means that if any player tries to jump off the rim to dunk the ball or uses the backboard as a springboard, it's a violation. But wait, there's more. The rule also states that players cannot assist their teammates in gaining height while attempting to score. So if a player tries to give his teammate a boost by standing on his shoulders, it's a no-go. The penalty for this violation is the loss of the ball, with possession being awarded to the opposing team on the sideline at the extended free throw line. This rule is in place to prevent any unfair advantage or dangerous situations that may arise from players using the rim, net, backboard, or basket support as a means of assistance. So the next time you see a player try to give themselves or their teammate an extra boost, remember that it's a violation of the rules, and the opposing team will gain possession of the ball.